What's up, everybody? Welcome to The Revival. My name is JJ, and here we go, continuing on my top 100 games of all time. This week, 15 through 11. Coming in at number 15 is a game that I don't have physically. I think I may have had the orange box a long time ago, but I couldn't find it when I was trying to put together this video, unfortunately. But it's a game that I've played digitally for years anyway, and that is Counter-Strike Go, or Counter-Strike Global Offensive.
As you can see from most of my top 100, there aren't a whole lot of first-person shooters listed. That being said, I could play CSGO till the cows come home. I played Counter-Strike religiously as a teenager, and joined a team for a while that I played with in a handful of local tournaments. To this day, I still remember every inch of some of those maps, like Dust 2, Cobble, and my personal favorite, Aztec. The game is wonderfully balanced, and isn't just a grenade and sniper spamathon when playing online like some other shooters that I've tried to get into since. I can still hop into it and feel right at home, and do on occasion, even though it's been over 20 years since I stopped playing competitively. It's a game that takes me right back to my late teens, sitting in a LAN center surrounded by other computers with players all engaged in the same on-screen action.
Coming in at number 14 is my favorite in this series, and is a game that is hard to recommend at times, and there are definitely other games in the series that I would recommend first. However, for me, this is the first one in the series that I actually finished, and it means the world to me because I just had such a great time learning about these characters and playing with the wonderful Trinity sight system that is Suikoden 3.
This is a really hard game to recommend to people for a few reasons. The graphics feel dated, the gameplay can feel really slow, and there's more dialogue to get through than most people are willing to give their attention to. However, if you can get past all that, Suikoden 3 offers an experience that you'd be hard-pressed to find elsewhere. The storytelling uses what the game calls the Trinity Sight system. You choose one of 3 starting protagonists to play as, and then play through the game's first chapter from their point of view. Then you play through the other 2 in any order you prefer, seeing the same events from different perspectives, and learning about their backgrounds and how they each react to what's happening. Each new chapter continues the story, and offers different viewpoints for each character, until eventually everything comes together beautifully. It's easily my favorite game in the Suikoden series, and also features my favorite female protagonist in any video game, Chris Lightfellow. If you've got the patience to get through some of the dated aspects, I guarantee you'll find something in Suikoden 3 that you won't soon forget.
At number 13 is if you had asked me a few years ago if this would be anywhere near this high on my list, let alone on my list at all, I probably would have laughed at you. But since replaying it, I have developed an unbelievable new appreciation for this game. It is amazing and a wonderful entry point in the series if you haven't played any of the other Final Fantasies. That is Final Fantasy X.
I first played Final Fantasy X back on the PS2 when it released. Being someone who started the series with 4, I considered myself somewhat of a Final Fantasy connoisseur at the time. However, given how linear it was, I was extremely disappointed in the gameplay and how restricted it felt, especially with how the airship mechanic changed from direct control in previous games to just choosing points on a map. Fast forward over 20 years and I replayed it again to get the Platinum Trophy on my PS4. After that second playthrough, I found a new appreciation for the game, accepting it for what it was at the time, an evolution of the series. I love the characters, the story, and the combat might just be my favorite in the entire franchise, being able to switch your party members in and out of battle on the fly. I'll admit that even though I already knew the ending, I still got choked up simply because of how Final Fantasy X had hooked me so much more deeply this time around. For anyone looking for a good place in the series to get your foot in the door, Final Fantasy X is a wonderful game to start with.
At number 12 is another one of those games that has not been re-released enough, and deserves it, and deserves more games in this style. Not to mention Geno and Smash. That is Super Mario RPG Legend of the Seven Stars.
One of the biggest disappointments in gaming that I've ever experienced was finding out that there wouldn't be any true follow-up to Super Mario RPG on the SNES. Paper Mario was fine, but for me it lacked the charm and soul that engulfed the Legend of the Seven Stars. The cast of characters was stellar, although I do wish Luigi would have been included. The music was great, and the different locations to find each of the missing stars were so diverse and fun to explore. With the Paper Mario franchise doing its own thing now, and Square games showing up on Nintendo consoles again, hopefully at some point we'll see some kind of worthy successor to this incredible game.
And finally, at number 11, is a game that everyone who bought it back when this game first released is now kicking themselves for not having bought way more copies than just the one or however many they got back then, because it's never enough, considering what it goes for nowadays, and that is Earthbound.
It's still amazing to me how when Earthbound first released in the West, it was stocked like crazy in stores and sold for $20 a pop. No one had heard anything about it, and it would take years for it to get the following it has now. Why Nintendo hasn't leaned into this series and given us the next entry is still beyond me, but I'm glad Earthbound has been released enough now on so many consoles that pretty much anyone can play this game relatively easily. The humor, adventure, characters, and music are all part of the reason this game is bursting with personality. The visual style still holds up extremely well too. There are very few classic RPGs that I recommend to people that typically aren't RPG fans, but Earthbound definitely ranks up there among the best.
And there you have it, guys. There is 15 through 11. Locke wanted to come in and say hi to everybody, so he stopped by, and he was sniffing my games, and you may have heard earlier on in the video him meowing upstairs, and that's because I had to close the window, and he wasn't a fan, because it's really hot outside, and I wanted to turn the AC on. But we'll get the window open again later, buddy. Okay, I promise. But we've got 10 games left, and I am so excited to show you guys what's coming up. It's kind of the same thing, a mix of games that you might be surprised, games that you won't be surprised, games that have surprised me, and just I'm super excited to show y'all. So thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff, and as always, keep on gaming.